Okay. This should be working way better now. Went through all the sound, because it really wasn't working last time. But it should be working now. Hopefully it's streaming. Let me have a little look. A little look-see. My internet is not the best. Okay. Seems fine. Okay. Yeah. Seems fine. Oop, that's just me checking. Very professional. Okay, cool. So we're gonna start again. And I'll try and remember what I said last time. Maybe it'll be more interesting this time. As I settle into the rhythm. Okay, so Kentucky Route Zero. Last time I sort of talked about the game. I wonder if I should do that again or just do it as I play. It's quite slow, so I end up talking quite a lot because there's, I think, quite a lot to say even though it is quite slow. Sort of an art game. Started I think in 2013. It's taken 7 years to finish. The 5th act, which was the last one, just came out. Until then, it just been, I think, 4 acts, and has been for like 3 years. So I was really excited to play it because I'd never played it before, and I really enjoyed it, and I've given it one playthrough, and I want to go through it again, sort of pick up things that I missed the first time, because now I have all this new information and I can put things together and talk about the themes and stuff, which I like to do because I'm awful. And I'm streaming it just in case people want to hear. If not, there's a recording, so people who have said they would like to listen can, whenever they have free time. I know everyone's pretty busy, especially at like 4:30 on a Thursday. So let's give it a go. I hope everyone's had a good day. Mine's been less than ideal. Currently eating ice cream out of a mug. Like a professional Twitch streamer would. Did I say screamer? Oh well. So we start here at EQUUS Oils. This enormous horse's head, which is extremely good, and I like it a lot. So this is sort of how the gameplay works. It's like a point and click thing, so I like this as well. There's a lot of horse imagery within the game. I guess because it's Kentucky and that feels sort of like horse country. Oh fuck, I've never noticed that before. You can read the highway sign. The 65. The sun just won't go away. Wish I felt like that. I never feel like that. I feel like the sun tries to leave immediately. This is your dog. Wears a hat. Also very good. Both have seen better days. And I'm sorry if I skip through the words a bit quickly sometimes. I read quite fast. So yeah, you start here. This is your truck. You are a truck driver for an antique firm. Lizette's Antiques. Furniture, glassware, curiosities. Sort of my ideal profession, I think, working in an antique store. Even though I don't know anything about antiques, I just think it would be quiet. It's probably horrible. It's probably full of terrible, terrible people, but I like the idea of it. Oh, don't go inside. So let's talk to this man here. Hello, sir. Ooh, so he's just pulled this armchair out into the middle of the gas place. This is Joseph. Howdy. So I talked about this briefly in the stream I fucked up. some of what I'll be talking about is sort of spoilers for later acts, because I do want to talk about things that are reoccurring. I won't spoil too much about what happens, but if it's sort of, if things are foreshadowing, I want to point them out. So if you're really, really worried about spoilers, then maybe wait and play it through, or if you don't mind that much, then just go with it. So in this, Joseph's talking about hearing a crash, which you never really understand, but later it's sort of ambiguous, but it's suggested that perhaps you caused this crash, and it was a whiskey delivery truck, which is both a good metaphor because your character is an alcoholic, and also fits in later with some more of the themes as they arise. Whiskey comes up a lot because there's a whiskey company that's quite important within the story. And the driver, I think, yeah, I'm not sure he'll be coming to look for anything. So this is sort of how the gameplay works. You answer with dialogue options. So you get these dialogue options, and you can choose which one to do. And sort of not only what you say, but it also is true. So your responses sort of control what the narrative is. So whichever I say is the dog's name, then it's the dog's name. Let's call him Homer. Bit goes with like the EQUUS stuff, you know. Maybe some Greek stuff. That's nice. Don't know how you make jerky. I guess you just dry meat. So this is the plot of the story. You are trying to deliver antiques to this address, 5 Dogwood Drive, and you can't find it for very significant reasons, it turns out. Dignity in the rhythm. It's a lot about work and what defines you, like within your job. Whether it defines you, I guess. Also a lot about alcoholism. And a lot about debt that we'll get into later. So, what's your rhythm like, sir? TV is also important. Poetry, also important. All of this is very significant. They do a lot of setting up in this first act that I think when you go back over it, it does do a really good job of setting up sort of what happens later on in the game and a lot of the themes. You've got to take the 0 to get there. I like this. When it says 0, it's got like a little, I don't know, like a mist that goes over it. We'll find out more about that later. I won't go into it now. It's kind of the point of the game in a way. But maybe not. In another way, you know? You'll see. Okay, so I've got to go turn the lights on. Take this lamp, you might need it. So you can sometimes control certain things, the little button at the bottom, and that can help you in certain situations. I just love this horse. Horses come up a lot as well. I think I mentioned that. I don't know what I've said in this stream and what I said in the last stream. Why am I such a fool? Oh, sign. So this is interesting. I do worry I overthink things, but I wonder if these rules are sort of significant within the game as a whole. So, no open flames near the gasoline. Self-explanatory. No consumption of beer and spirits on the premises. That sort of feeds into the sort of alcoholism theme comes up quite a lot within the game. In case of sudden darkness, do not panic. Relax. Count backwards from 5. I feel like something happens that counts backwards from 5 in the game, but I cannot remember. So we'll find out when we get there. if we get there, if it's real and I didn't just make it up. Strictly limit time spent in the basement to fewer than 3 minutes of every hour. It's the thing, a lot of this game, like the majority of it, takes place either at night or underground, as you'll see, and so pretty much most of it's dark. Who are these people? Basement people? Emily, Ben, and Bob. Oddly shaped dice and highway maps. So it sounds like they're playing like a highway D&D or some sort of role-playing game. Have you seen the breaker box, people? Okay, so they can't hear you. These characters actually come up later within the story, and they are currently alive, so it's sort of strange to see them here. Sort of ambiguous. A lot of the game is about ghosts, but not necessarily ghosts as in dead people, more ghosts as in like memories or people who've moved on rather than died. Maybe they've died, but maybe also they've just gone someplace else, but they've left something of themselves behind. And that, I think, comes up quite a lot. Okay, so they've lost their glow-in-the-dark dice. So, I think, I wonder if, shit, there it is. Nice. I also feel like that about D&D dice. They're comforting in the hand. I also put them in my mouth a lot, which is probably gonna choke me to death. Ooh, get up there. Let's give it back to these friendly people. Ah, they've gone. What does it mean? What does it mean? So you can keep the dice, but I want to give it to them, even if they're not really here. I don't know why it feels right. And let there be light. Oh shit, the whole thing is a giant horse. That's so cool. That's so cool. Why is there a giant metal horse? That is also a gas station. I love this tail as well. It's so unnecessary. Who put it here? What does it mean? What does it mean? Okay, go up the stairs. You sort of climb up its throat as well, which is fun. Isn't EQUUS a play about someone who has sex with a horse? There's a lot of stuff about plays in this game, so that would make sense. Hello, sir. Why is your gas station a horse? Ah, sorry about that. Listen to those lights whine. There are a lot of whining lights in this game. The lights, they do whine. Hey, there were people in your basement. What's that about? Maybe. Did I imagine the giant horse as well? Strange things happen underground, especially in the dark. I hope we don't spend any more time underground in the dark. That would be strange. Okay, so at the moment, I'm trying to get to the 0. The password... Okay, so the password is a short poem, which is fun. Doesn't make a lot of sense, man. Why is your password a poem? Why can't it be password? I've got to just make it up as well. Just sort of instinctively know it. So part of the dreamlike quality of this game is stuff like this, where it's almost like what you type is real, no matter what it is. What you say becomes real, even if it wasn't real before, but once you said it, it's suddenly the truth of the universe, if you understand what I'm saying. So you can sort of write this poem, that's the password. I talk and listen to him talking. It's late. It will only get later. Oh, it's the correct password. Nice. I guess so. Turns out I'm pretty poetic. I feel quite tired. I've already gone through all this when I messed up the other stream, and I'm sad because I had some great commentary. I'll try and I don't want to recreate it because then it loses all its verve, all its voom. But I don't want to miss anything. I'm reading his messages because I'm a rude man. Ooh, message 1. Donald@hotmk.mail. So I figured this out in the other stream because I completely didn't realize. But Joseph, you find out more about him later. Once you meet some of his friends, one of whom is the guy writing this email. It says, Joseph, I know it's been a while, and I know you're still sore. But there's a whole world in here, and we need your help to unmask it. Yes, the caves are cold and damp, and we are old and lame. Never mind, I can't remember why I even started writing this. I miss those days in the lab with you and our dear Lula. Maybe you found your own Xanadu. Well, so have I. Yes, it is Xanadu. So that comes up later. You find out what Xanadu is, because it's not just the metaphor of Xanadu. And also you find out a lot about Lula in different time periods. Ooh, what's the second? What's the second email? From accounts@consolidated.mail. Uh-oh. My account is overdue. We have switched you to our low reliability Dirty Power Plus plan. I think that's what my Wi-Fi is on. Oof. So I'm going to turn off the power because he hasn't paid. Which, again, very significant debt in this game, and sort of the increasing debt that you get when you're in poverty and there isn't like a single way out, and so the debt sort of builds up until it controls you. Consolidated Power Company, they are this huge like monopoly that's really significant in the universe and affected a lot of the plot, and affects a lot of the plot going forward. Okay, so that's, I've read his emails. I should probably... I'm having a heated gamer moment. Okay. I do this a lot, which is very annoying. Sometimes it can be a pain getting through the dialogue options. Okay, have they got any games? Oh. Games is real. I'm playing a game right now. Okay, let's find Weaver. Dog would drive that in here? Not real. Ooh, is that meaningful, or is it just not in the directory? I don't know. Marquez. I hope I'm not saying that wrong. I feel like I am, but I'm also an idiot. And I don't know Spanish very well. Okay, head northeast on 65 and turn left as soon as you see the ugly tree that's on fire. Why is it always on fire? Why will no one put it out? It's a hazard. Okay, so he's giving me his TV to give to Weaver. Ooh, public access TV, that also comes up later. Significant. Okay. Thank you, old man. This is very helpful. Not at all confusing for my confused alcohol pickled brain. Hello. Your dog is good. He's meant to be like super old, but so are you. You want a treat? I could give it to him later. I'll give it to him now. Not very good at waiting. I don't think dogs want to wait either. Oof, your old man Ira. He was a good man. Take it easy, Homer. It's good to talk to your dog. Maybe one day he'll talk back. Let's go. There's this thing about games where, I don't know, where it's always how much is up to you to control. You know? Ooh, there's that burning tree. 10 left. Ooh, there's the farmhouse. Like, obviously you have to do what the story tells you to do. You have like the ultimate control in that you can turn the game off if you want to at any time. So in a way you control the universe, but you can only take it along a certain route. Is that bollocks? I don't know. Hello. Pretty dark out here. Let's look for another treat. Maybe they have jerky. It's got electricity out here. Again, sorry if I move too fast. I just read really quickly. I used to read like scanned internet manga when I was a teen. And my brother found it really distressing because I would just click, 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 click through the pages so I could absorb the story as fast as possible. Huh. Normal stuff. Interesting that Marquez is on here. Marquez. That's Weaver's name. Is it her parents? We just don't know. I hope the game noises aren't too loud this time. There is a lot of frog noises happening. Oh, hello. Why are you in the dark? Have I been here before? What a lovely house it is. Did I see an owl? Very Twin Peaks. I didn't see an owl. Sound and fury, signifying nothing. Gone now. Again, like with the ghosts, there's this ongoing theme throughout the game of new things being built on top of like the bones of old things, both people and places. And places constantly being destroyed and rebuilt over time, which this conversation mentions, which is good. So their house, Weaver's parents' house, used to be a different one before it was destroyed and they rebuilt it. And this whole thing about it being so expensive that they're in debt now is also, again, part of the theme of poverty and debt. Ooh, she was once a mathematician. Can you ever stop being a mathematician? Aren't you always a mathematician? I drive deliveries. Hard times everywhere. Ain't that just the way? Sorry if you can hear me drinking tea. My throat hurts. Great day to stream. I feel Weaver a lot. I understand you, Weaver. He's too smart to watch TV. Don't be so pretentious. Too smart to play video games. Okay. This is slave labor. Just tell me where the 0 is. Stop making me turn the TV on for you. Just plug it in, don't you? This is very normal. This is what happens when I watch TV as well. Hey Weaver, what's up? What? I plugged it in wrong and now it's haunted? Ma thought she heard ghosts in the static. What do you know about my mother, Weaver? Things had to be a certain way. I might not have been paying attention. I've been talking. It's time to start paying attention, Conway. Look closely at the television. Okay. Press S to TV. Hey Weaver, I think your barn has some holes in it. Two horses. Interesting. Whoa, sorry. TV is really clear. Wasn't the barn? Barns aren't for spiders, Weaver. Me too. Tell me about your cousin. That's sure what a cousin is. Hey, Weaver. How can you have previously been the same age and now she's older than you? You see, it's very unclear what's going on with Weaver, although I might have missed stuff previously. It's hard to tell what's a metaphor and what's sort of happening in the universe, but I'm not sure they're that separate, if you know what I'm talking about. It's like the metaphor is real. But yeah, her cousin fixes TVs. I don't love fishing. Sorry, Weaver, I'm here to make a delivery. I can't just find your cousin for you. Last time I went to Shannon's workshop, but I can't be bothered. I'm just gonna go to the 0. I'm sure I'll never hear about Shannon ever again. I really love the art style in this game. It's very like hexagonal, I guess, in a sort of interesting retro way. Polyhedral, that's it, like polyhedral. But at the same time, it's very pretty and very smooth. The animation's very smooth. It's in the stove. Okay, it's cold, and it's covered in ash, but I'm sure that's fine. Ooh, what's in the sink? Okay, so the saucepan is full of spiders and dust, but Weaver was just here, and I'm sure she's fine, and actually, she just likes it that way. I mean, even now, I'm not sure if Weaver is supposed to be dead, or she's just something else, or somewhere else. Again, her name is in the graveyard, which makes it sound like she could be buried in the graveyard. Unclear. really like the music in this game. The guy who does the songs also ends up doing the sound design, and I think it's super good. Sound design is important. I just met the strangest lady. She was creepy. Me too. Let's go do our delivery. Come rain or snow, nor gloom of night, neither of them will stay the postman about his delivery. I don't know the words. Okay. Maybe I will head to Shannon's workshop. There's the limb factory. So that's towards the 0. Ooh, hello. I also strum a guitar absently and hum tunelessly. Oh, listen. Seems like a great guy. Huh. This guy turns up quite a lot in the game, or at least a number of times. Which is interesting. Which way? Which way? Double check. So this is your instructions of how to get places. You gotta find them on your own. Ooh, the on-ramp. Is this the way to the 0? Excuse me, ma'am. May I have a little 0? I started playing this game because I finished my second playthrough of Disco Elysium, which is probably my favoritist game ever made, and I'm not ashamed of that. And they cited this amongst their inspirations, and I'd heard of it, but I've been waiting for the final act to come out before playing it, so I played it now. How's it going, Homer? Has he got on his hat? Is it a flower? Has he got a flower in his hat? That's adorable. That's super uncomfortable. You tend to pick up bits and pieces in the game about Conway's past, like his recent past and his more distant past. It's never the most cheerful. A lot of it, again, is about family, sort of family relationships, and I guess trauma, and the way that echoes. X1, scene 4. So we're gonna head into this mine. I'm sure it's fine. Hello, ma'am. Oh, hello, Shannon. So now I've swapped and I am Shannon now. So you're like sort of all the characters, mostly at different points. $200 for 2 weeks. Is this talking about my rent? This is also very relatable. Talking to a very unreasonable person. Love you. Who am I talking to? My parents? Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm not talking to my parents. Spoilers. Hello, I love your dog. He looks old as shit. Hey, Conway, do you believe in ghosts? Themes. I love this. What about a person? Can a person be haunted? We all feel haunting. Me too. Yes. Hey, I met Weaver. Do you know her maybe? Shannon? Hey Shannon, do you know Weaver? She sent me here. do you know her? Huh. Was. What does that mean, Shannon? Hey Shannon, what are you talking about here? This is good. She said that her dad was in a terrible car wreck. There was crushed metal everywhere, and we'd been hearing it echo through the house for years. I was very upset, and then my dad walked in the door. Just came back from a trip to the junkyard collecting scrap metal to fashion into wind chimes. It's so good. Weaver is a very fun character. She's very mysterious. I guess she's almost like the Zero herself in a lot of ways. Please tell me what the Zero is. I just need to deliver some stuff. Hoo-hoo. What does it mean? What does it mean? Is it me you're looking for? I think even if my ambiguously disappeared cousin came up to tell me that what I'm looking for is in a mine, I probably wouldn't go in the middle of the night. Probably wait. But then there'd be no story. A lot of this is about waves as well. Waves come up quite a lot. Radio waves and video waves and stuff of that nature. Topology. It's an implication that maybe memories are also waves. Which is sort of similar to Oxenfree if you've played Oxenfree, which I think is a great game. I love Oxenfree. The style's quite similar to this, really. But it's a bit more straightforward, like a tiny bit more straightforward story-wise. It's like the metaphors are a bit less abstract, maybe. What's in here? Okay, cool. I'm sure this will be fine. Hello. If anyone says anything back to me, I'm gonna freak out. Yeah, again with the debt stuff, It's this whole like the miners having to pay to run the fans and the lights themselves, even though this was their workplace. Have to use tokens that they got paid in. It's very neoliberal. Very Amazon, but in a mine. Again, turning on the lights. Try to think of something clever to say. This is very relatable as well. A lot of crackling in this game. Well. This is very technical, Shannon. Oof. None of these are good noises. I'm going to clear my throat because it's a bit less horrible. This is all terrible. I'm going to hum. Ew. I'm whistling. So also some stuff later on about music and noise is becoming music. And how everything is music, really. You meet some musicians later who are characters. I'm a big fan. I like Shannon though, she might be my favourite character. What did I have for breakfast? This isn't a fun story. I used to work during roof repair. My boss got a real big job out in Louisville. It should have taken us an hour to get there. But I was too hungover and we ran late. I'm pretty tall. And I don't know a lot about Kentucky, so I'm never sure how much of this is accurate to the landscape and how much of it is invented to be sort of a version of Kentucky that's not really the real one. Sometimes you have to breathe naturally, it's pretty hard. Earlier in the day. This is very spooky. Okay, what am I remembering? A cold drink. Did I... Oh! Uh-oh. Sure, I hope I'm okay. Again, like I was saying earlier about it being presented almost like a play, I think I was reading an interview where the creators were talking about it and how they sort of saw the screen as a stage and the words and the dialogue like a play's dialogue, and it's all presented in acts and scenes. My leg is stuck. That's not good. It's a metaphor for alcoholism and also getting your leg crushed by rocks. You have a lot of options as Conway to say things are fine when they're not. I don't think it changes anything, but it's interesting. That sounds very loud. Hey, where's Weaver? Okay. See, you're often in weird vehicles, and so in this bit you're in a minecart. interesting if you turn off the lights. It flashes. And you can sort of see people in the background, illuminated by the flashing light. Again, like ghosts, but also maybe memories. It's ambiguous, but interesting. Ooh, turntable. Play some tunes. So, yeah, floods. This whole mine was underwater. Is it safe? Who drained it? Interesting. So, yeah, this is whole company thing. They dug too deep or too much, and the mine flooded. And the power was rations, so the lights all shut off. And then I guess they were trapped in the dark in the flood, which is very horrible. In the interview, the creator was talking about how Kentucky has a lot of, nothing exactly like this, but histories of labor movements as responses to horrific things that happen, which I think this game does a pretty good job of representing. Ooh, okay, so this turntable can move your minecart. Woohoo. So we're gonna... Oh, I didn't notice this before, so these buzzy words is similar, not quite to the zero is more floaty, but the buzzy ones always have to do with like waves and electricity, which is something that comes up a lot. Power, I guess, which, now I think about it, maybe the power means power. Okay, pendulum in the casket. Let's head off. They do this as well quite a lot, where it's 2D and the characters will always remain in that 2D way, but the background moves around them rather than them moving in the background, which makes sense. I'm going to turn the light out again, just so we can see what there is to be seen. Turn the light on again. What is here? End of the line. Ooh, a tape player. Now, I know this, but if you turn the lights off, then the tape player plays. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know what the audio mixing is like. It's pretty spooky. There's a lot about folk music in this when they talk about music. And there's a university as well that's mentioned quite a lot. I guess the difference between the people in the university and other people. Yeah, so the archivist paid the miners to sing into the tapes. Did your parents sing? Spooky. We're at the turntable though. Sorry, I keep getting quieter. I just feel solemn in the mine. Before we leave, try the bat feeder and the scarecrow. Lots of bats in this game. I guess they're like birds, but in the underground, you know? It's like in Sunless Sea, if you've... Huh. Okay, heading back up. I guess we're going on the first way. Yeah, if you played Sunless Sea, I'm not very good at it. I die a lot and don't get particularly far. It's sort of about an ocean in a big cave. And the bats are sort of like birds, like seagulls. They attack you though, they suck. Animal bones. Excellent. Okay, let's get out of this mine. I think this is a good bit. You can see them walking to the entrance, or the exit, the shadows. Get out of here. I've seen everything, don't worry. So it's interesting, sometimes you can talk to people as either one of the characters, so you can choose which one you want to be the one saying things. And sometimes they'll even just be the sort of the same thing or lead to the same ends, but I guess you can choose almost who's more proactive. So here I'm Shannon. I think in this one actually you can be either Conway or Shannon investigating things. I can't remember, maybe you can be both. See, that's super fucked up. Just the abandoned miners' helmets. Okay, so you are both. Let's look in the shack. Hey Shannon, do you know those people? Perhaps? What's in the red one? Notes. Uh-oh. Hey, Shannon, I'm not reading your probably dead parents' books. Green notebook. What are drawings? And a girl. Is that you, Shannon? Oh, you and Weaver? That sounds like Weaver's book. Ah, Weaver's parents are the archivists. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Slow. A lot of things in this game are permanent, so when your leg's injured, it doesn't just sort of heal as soon as you're out. You have to deal with it first. No, I think let Shannon drive. That's too young to drive, Shannon. She said getting to the 0 was inevitable from here. Not that this is where the 0 is. Let's head to your... Let's head to your workshop, Shannon. I'm going to stop the stream / recording here. Although I'm not sure there's that much left in this act, but my throat is super fucked, so I'll leave it here for now, I think, and maybe come back to it later or at another time. Don't talk shit about my truck. Aren't we all antiques? Oh, rude. It's fine when I say it. I have to talk to the dog like it's a person. We did find more snacks. No. Cute. Get in the truck. Pretty sure I can remember where the workshop is. I've got the instructions in here. It's at Wax Street and Peonia. Oh, there we go. Shit. Maybe I'll keep going until the end of the act. I'm pretty sure there's like 2 scenes left. Live bait, minnows, small and also large. Night crawlers. What's a night crawler? It sounds wonderful. Thank you, Shannon. You just here alone? You got friends? Different shades of black. Just like this game. Ah, deep. What's on the security monitor? Conway dissociates quite a lot. It's maybe supernatural, or maybe his brain is very bad. Okay, let's head back to the farmhouse. I feel like that's the last scene. In Act 1, and then it'll be over. There's like interludes between each of the acts, which they're quite experimental, and they use a sort of a different format and different mechanics to the rest of the game. And they're really interesting. They're normally they're always related to the story, but maybe a bit obliquely. And sometimes they're quite ambiguous. I think they're pretty They're pretty interesting. I'll probably start with that next time though. Okay, so I'm slow as shit now. Sometimes people have a problem with the game where it's quite slow, which I understand. It's quite Lynchian in that the slowness is almost part of the experience. Ooh, are we stopping? No. But at the same time, sometimes people don't enjoy that experience, which I understand. It's with the sound effects as well. I think it's about setting a mood. And the game is a lot about mood. Hey, what can you tell me about this creepy graveyard? Why would you have a decorative graveyard, Weaver? I mean, I understand, but... Exactly. Huh. Did it come with a graveyard? What about Marquez? What does that mean? Interesting. Would you create your own grave if you had a graveyard, even if you weren't buried there yet? What if you knew you'd never be buried? Sort of a stand-in for a real burial. Hey Shannon, what's with this fucked up TV? It shows me visions, I don't love it. See, again, they talk about the loans and the debts. It's almost like different levels of debt. So you've got the miners having to pay for their own supplies, and then her parents who are more middle class, but still end up in debt, but in a more middle class kind of way. And again, Conway and debt is another thing that comes up later on in the story. And I guess there's a bigger theme about like what we owe to each other, as well as monetary owing, but what we owe to the people around us. You know. Oh. Yeah. It's a bit more explicit, the themes there. Oh, and you see Weaver has tuition debt, which maybe she disappeared to run away from, but again, it's more a middle class debt, but debt all the same. Interesting. Again, it's like with the waves, when you dig down deep enough into things, everything's kind of mathematics. I think the implication later is that Weaver went into the zero and just sort of never came back. And maybe he's sort of still in there, but can come out of it in a way. I don't know, it's ambiguous. Yeah, her and Joseph know each other from the project that you found out Joseph was working on later on in the story through the university. Give it a go, if you can. Oh, moss. That, yeah, so the cave you see later, where Joseph and Donald were, and I think Weaver was as well, has a lot of moss in it. So, hoo-hoo, foreshadowing. I love Shannon, she's so cool. Again, using old materials to create new things is, again, the sort of building new things with the bones of the old. That's gross, Shannon. North, south. Oh, we're going to dissociate into the barn again. Oh, okay. Oh, look, you can KY0. That's the name of the game, kind of. There I go. Into the 0. Zero again, it's like waves. I guess like traveling through waves, so I guess you sort of exist within the waves, but also you don't exist. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, so that's Act 1. Enjoyable. A lot more foreshadowing than I obviously remember, because I didn't know that it was foreshadowing when I first played it. But yeah, really good actually. A lot of setting up the mood and the themes in a really strong way. I think that they were really aware of what they wanted to do. Yeah, I think they sort of knew what direction they wanted to take it in further down the line as they were making this one, which is really impressive considering it was like 7 years ago. Yeah. That's all I'm going to do now. I'll come back with the interlude at a later date, and I'll put a recording of this on my Twitch, maybe on YouTube, I don't know, so people can watch it or watch it back, or if they missed it, they can watch it. Thanks for watching if you have been watching, and I'll see you soon.